14th December 2021. It's a beautiful Tuesday evening. You're on Nova Talk Television on the Vanguard Show with Gad Kanyesiji the Patriot. Today we have our own Vanguard Kwikiriza Gedion. Gedion, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for always hosting me. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you very much for always honoring my invitation. I do not take it for granted.
Thank you.
This week, starting with this week, we had different letters. We had letters from the heads of the medical forum. We had a letter from those who speak for interns in our health sector. Then we had sanctions last week that were slapped over one of our major generals in the country, Kandiho. Then we were celebrating anti-corruption week, and it happened at Kororo. You have the story. So today we are going to tackle all those issues. But before we go there, how has been your week?
The week has been, of course, fine. The challenges are usual. We cannot be discussing challenges here. Usual business and looking for money here and there, which is not easy this season.
I know.
You know what has hit us, the COVID and all that we have been going through. So it has not been easy, but we still move. Yeah. So it's been a hassle.
We've just started the week. So going forward, let's start with the sanctions that were slapped on one of our generals in the country, who is the CMI boss. And they were, it is said that those sanctions, they were flanked with allegations on human rights abuses, including torture and sexual abuses that were committed under his watch. But also, I remember recently, the president also blamed the torture acts on individuals and the failure of senior commanders to instruct juniors on what to do. So do you think somehow the president would agree with sanctions being slapped on one of his generals?
He would not agree, because if you are saying that he came out to
blame the same,
what did he do as the commander-in-chief about it? That is the question. So I think his statements were political.
But we also know, we also got information when some juniors were arrested.
But
they were charged.
These juniors work under commands. They have their commanding officers. So if you are punishing juniors who have been commanded, okay?
Yes.
And you are not punishing their commanders, then you are literally doing nothing. Now, God, you see my take on the sanctions by the US government is that, well, Major General Kandiho could have committed those crimes against humanity. But I do not believe in the US dictating on how politics, security, economics, the social life of Ugandans should be. Okay? If we have mistakes as a country, we can handle our mistakes. We can learn from them. We can put ourselves together. Okay? It's very funny how the US plays the ruthlessness, place the US places itself in a righteousness position that it has to judge the sins of other countries, and they must move by their code or how they do things. Yet they also have so many. Where did we get the slogan Black Lives Matter? Where did we get it from? It is from the US. These black Africans have been, up to today, they are being killed. Okay? Can Uganda now, or the president of Uganda, sanction
But
any...
those who kill, they are being charged. Even that one who killed, that officer who killed Floyd.
Yes, Floyd, yes.
Floyd.
Yeah.
He was also charged.
Do you think the judgment, or the judgment was enough? Can now Uganda go and sanction America and say, we think the judgment that was given to Floyd's killer is not enough? Can you sentence him to a bigger sentence in jail? Do you think Uganda is in that position?
No, I don't know.
So if Uganda is not in that position, then America shouldn't also be... You see, someone will come and create an argument that you are being funded by the US, that is why US dictates. China funds Uganda too. Actually, very soon, I think China will even outcompete the US as far as funding Uganda is concerned, or even other African countries. But China understands their position. I shouldn't, if I have chosen to come and help you, God, I'm assuming you came to me and said, Gedion, can you lend me 50,000 shillings? So I'll ask, what are you going to do with it? Say, I have a business that I need to invest in. Then you tell me maybe you need to invest in selling passion fruit, I assume. Now, why should I give you money and force you into a different business that you are not ready for?
That particular money comes with conditions.
But
And I think in this case, as I was trying to...
the conditions, God, should be financial conditions. How do you pay this money? You know, of course, there should be a plan on how that money is going to be spent. But then you cannot come and change its plan and dictate on how that money is going, and then even dictate on other things that are not attached to that money that you have lent me. That is what America is trying to do. What I'm saying is, it might be true that Major General Kandiho has committed those crimes, and I think it is true.
Oh,
yes.
Really?
Yes. Take an example of how Segirinya and Sewanyana were rearrested. That mode of rearresting is not under the law. Okay? And that is CMI doing the same. Okay, so these things might have happened. But I do not want the US to come. I want the president, and this is where I blame him somehow, somewhere. If you have come out to say you admit your officers are committing those crimes, why don't you, take an action as the commander-in-chief? Okay? And so that now the public is confident in the commander-in-chief than the US. But now the public is seeking I would say mental satisfaction from the US. What I can tell you is those sanctions are not going to affect Kandiho in any way.
He even questioned it.
Yes.
He said that he does not have any business with the US.
I personally, my age, I've never flown out of Uganda. I might die without flying to Uganda, and that won't stop me from being the person I'm supposed to be, or from being an important person. So but now we are talking about the people you are answerable to, the taxpayers. Why, if you're the president and you realize that your commanders, and you're the commander-in-chief, and you're not just the commander-in-chief, but a whole general, why don't you take action?
So you want to use an excuse of we are a small economy, so we can do whatever we want, whether it's committing these crimes. So no one should interfere with our problems, even when we are committing crimes.
No,
is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, Uganda is an independent country.
Absolutely.
We have a constitution. We have laws. We have a parliament. We have the executive arm. We have judiciary. We have educated citizens. We have elites. We have leaders.
But we also have the civil society.
Yes, we have the civil society, yes. But we can also solve our problems. Okay? You remember we had a gay bill being proposed. You remember?
Absolutely.
That is against our norms. That is against our culture. Okay? If the US think it is normal, they shouldn't force it on us, for God's sake. Just because you're funding. Can you let us live with our culture, our values as Africans? Okay? You remember the president had an interview over such, and he said it is nuisance. It is, you know. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying we can still solve our problems. We can identify our problems ourselves. If we think President Museveni...
So US's sanctions do not matter.
They do really, according to me, they do not matter.
Thank you very much. Moving forward, we've been receiving different letters, and some letter from Federation of Uganda Medical Interns, FUMI, that is being led by Dr. Gedion. Then we also had a letter from Dr. Henry Mwebesa, the Director General of Health Services. But all of those letters are rotating on the ongoing strike of interns.
We have political priorities instead of development priorities. Why should someone who saves lives go on strike? Because they are not satisfied. Okay? And our legislation, actually this is not even to the president. The parliament is also part of the process that should see these salaries increase. And honestly, this is not even about the NRM, it's not about the it's a whole, you know. We need consensus. We need to sit down and see our priorities. When you sit as a member of parliament, wherever you are, do you think what you do is equal to what a doctor does? Really?
We are in different fields.
Yes.
And those fields complement each other.
Yes,
so what are you trying to say?
No, what I'm trying to say is that as much as these fields complement each other, they are those that should come first. Okay? Because there are those that are basic. It's just like we have basic needs. There's food, there's shelter, there's clothing. But of the three, those are the basic needs. Of the three, God, you can move naked if the situation demanded so. Okay?
When I'm mad?
No, not when you're mad. I'm assuming we are in a war situation, okay?
Of course I understand.
Yes, you can move naked. God, you can sleep outside. Actually, so many guys are sleeping on the streets.
Most of the times,
but you cannot do away with food. You will die. Okay?
Yes.
So, these basic needs complement each other, but there is number one. Now, what I'm trying to say is that we need members of parliament. Okay? You will hear the next morning that a butcher man or a full figure has been invited to State House.
Oh, full figure. Actually, it has been a discussion all over the media that she drives a SAF. And
you see, and it's not just a SAF. I don't know how true it is, but he might have gotten some other money, even if it was 50 millions. It's a lot of money. What did she do?
She's a presidential advisor.
Okay, is a presidential advisor.
But
you have 95. Are they 95? The interns, the medical interns.
No, they are over 1,000.
1,000 something. How much money do they need? How much money did we spend in the recent election? Just splashing out money unnecessarily. Okay, so we need to sit down and see our priorities, weigh them, and see what we need to do first.
So talk about the decision of the ministry intimidating these interns.
Why should they be intimidated?
Because they are striking.
Yes, they are right to strike. They are right to strike.
Don't you think they are holding? Don't you think they are holding government at ransom? Because the government itself had committed to increase the money from 900.
What happened to the commitment?
And they are going to do that. It is in due process.
No.
So why would you hold the government at ransom when it has already planned to actually do what you're asking?
God. When State House requests for a supplementary budget, there is no waiting. Okay? There is no waiting on that. That money is they make sure that money is gotten, whether on gunpoint or what, that money is there. Why should you promise medical workers, okay, even if they are interns, they are medical workers, and it takes a whole year? And it's not the first time we are seeing these promises. Whenever the president is speaking, he makes promises to please, I think, to sweeten his speech, and those promises are not fulfilled.
Maybe
so
there's
the right
not
thing,
actually.
God, a minute. The right thing would be, instead of intimidating, okay, because I saw these other ones who are also students and are intending to now become medical interns. They have also said they are not going to.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Now the next day you will have, actually it was, I think, the doctors who had.
They're also threatening.
Yes.
To stop working.
Yes.
Unless they are going to work on emergencies.
So are you going to have the entire sector?
We are going to bring Cuban doctors.
Oh, what happened last time? You talked about it last time. Why didn't you bring them? So God, the issue here is that instead of intimidating, can we find a solution? Okay? The president has been praising scientists and saying we need to invest in science. Scientists are very important, but we are only seeing it in words. These are the same scientists, lifesavers, that are crying, that are not satisfied with the pay they get, and you have all these other monies that are being splashed here. You saw the other day, I'm sorry to say, the president of Uganda launching a school in TZ. We are constructing roads in Congo. I am not saying these are bad initiatives, but you cannot go to feed your neighbor's child when your own is starving. Okay? First settle your issues. Then you can go outside.
Well,
so the issue is that money is available. That's what I can say. We have the money, but we do not know our priorities. We do not know where to invest the money, and that's something we need to check.
Vanguard. Moving forward, we shall talk about the recent celebrated Anti-Corruption Day. Actually, we were celebrating Anti-Corruption Week that we normally celebrate each year. And I will only pick statements from the president's speech that particular day. Of course, many dignitaries made statements. They presented. Even the speaker of this country one Jacob also gave a very good speech, and he admitted that we are all corrupt. But the president advised the IGG, a one Honorable Betty Kamya, that she should go slow on a lifestyle audit. That is a method that has been used all over to curb corruption. And in his speech, he said that go slow on lifestyle audit, because we are lucky that those who steal money still invest here. Listening to such a speech, don't you think the president gave a leeway for the corrupt and blocked the pace at which an IGG would work?
Corruption is more of a moral aspect than the law, according to me. When I was a child, every person was a parent, and they would send you anywhere. They would say, Gideon, come, you go buy for me soap, and you just know, you just go and buy and bring the soap and leave. You would actually come back and say, hey, I forgot, you go and get me a matchbox. And it's not just a near distance, it's a long distance. But today, you'll not send anyone's child anywhere if you're not adding 500 as a token of appreciation. They will ask for it actually. Say, Etombadeyo, you get. Are you not giving me something in return for sending me to the shop? This is where corruption starts. This young child grows up knowing that there is nothing for free. Every service must be paid for.
Isn't that a good idea?
It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea, God. That is why you have someone, because as a child, the person who is sending you most likely is more of a parent who will call you the next day and give you food, who will buy you something very important, okay?
Who will pay you in kind.
Who will pay you in kind. But you're not considering that. You're considering sending you to the shop, okay? It is the same with government officials. You have a salary, okay? But the salary is not enough according to you. You are supposed to get some other money somewhere. So, we need to deal with our morals as a society, as a country, before we even get to the law. Okay? The reality is corruption is everywhere. Okay? The other day, 2 days ago, I had someone who wanted to appear on this same show. I actually had not shared that with you in person. Someone who wanted to appear on this show. So he called and said, I want to appear on the show. So I was asking, can you really manage? You have watched the shows. We have people like Owen. So I was trying to see the capability of this guy to appear on this show. And he ran to say, don't worry, I can even pay something.
Oh.
You understand? So
you want money?
Yes.
You send that fellow?
Yes. No, it's not about. That's what I'm telling you. That as Ugandans, that is what comes. Money can do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So God, I'm saying we need to deal with our morals.
But get back to my question. Well, as we deal with our morals, we have anti-corruption officers that we pay salaries. This is taxpayers' money. So are you rendering their work irrelevant since we've not worked on our morals. This is something that we have already in place.
What?
How are we dealing with it?
What I can say is that we need the law. That's what I was coming to. Because I said we have the moral side and the law side. We need serious law. It's very unfortunate that as much as corruption is a reality that we need to admit, but the president comes out to caution the Inspector General of Government to go slow on corruption, on corrupt officials.
Actually, he did not say that. I want you to quote him verbatim. He said that go slow on lifestyle audit.
But that's the same thing. Lifestyle audit is meant to curb corruption. So it's basically you're saying go slow on corrupt officials. He actually said those corrupt officials
Invest here.
invest here. You know, investing here. I don't know the statistics he has as a president of how many have invested
He's the
here.
biggest consumer of information here.
And then that means he knows how many are corrupt. He knows how much they have taken. He knows where it is. He knows whose building it is. Then we are in a very bad position as a country. If you're saying that he consumes a lot of information.
But we have the IGG.
But you have the IGG and the
information.
And the information, you know. And the president is saying that, hey, go slow. These people are investing the money here. But you see, there are few people. We are talking about 5% of the population. These people are holding the money. Even if it's here, they are holding the money, okay, to themselves. You see, the corruption is different, God. We have this minor, what I would call minor corruption of a traffic officer on the road who gets some 2,000 when they get you in a traffic offense. We have a certain officer in an office that wants you to meet a big person and you just have to pay 10,000. But we are talking about people who touch in the national treasury, get out billions of money, and they put it to their personal use. Remember, God, when you steal something, even if it wasn't money, if you stole my phone, okay, you'll first switch it off, isn't it? You switch it off, you remove my SIM cards, and first keep it somewhere for some time, so that Gedion forgets about his phone. Now you can get it out and start using it. That's what happens, even with the money. When someone gets that money, they first keep it somewhere for a long time. Okay? Yes, that's what happens. Because you do, you know,
if you start splashing,
the money, that's how they got Kazinda. You remember Kazinda, who is inside? That's how they got him. Excitement. If you get that money, first keep it. And by keeping it, it is a very, very, very big loss to
the economy.
To the economy. You understand? So I'm assuming that 10 people or 20 or 30 are doing the same at the same time. They are all hiding money somewhere, keeping it and waiting for the audits and whatever to go so they can start spending this money.
The president telling the IGG, hey, go slow on those corrupt officials who are investing here. And one of the great economic analysts in our country says that, we can actually coexist with corruption and continue to grow. Do you really agree with the two?
Does he have a record of a country that has grown because of corruption?
Yeah, he cited all those great economies, the levels of corruption.
Yes, what he was saying is that I actually watched him on a certain TV show. What he was saying is that by the time the Britain, America, and those other big economies, by the time they had the same per capita spending as Uganda has today. They had corruption,
Same
they had
challenges.
nepotism, they had the same challenges. But God, if I want to give, you see, I love giving basic illustrations because we are talking to people, to everyone. If I knew that God was moving at night and thieves attacked him and they robbed him, do I also need to first experience that? Do I need to keep moving at night? So I would say, no, that was God's story. I also need to experience mine.
Yeah.
Let me also move so that I can be attacked. So these people should be examples to us, okay? That we can do better. We cannot move in their line. If they were corrupt then, it doesn't mean that we have to be corrupt today, okay? And I don't think any president of those countries ever stood and condoned the acts of corruption. I don't think so. So what we are seeing here is a president and the executive, as I would say, and of course the parliament, him commanding the biggest wing of the parliament, saying corruption is okay, but for as long as you will invest here. And I'm asking, where are we going as a nation? Okay? Well, he could have admitted that there is corruption and guys are investing here and whatever, but you cannot come to say it publicly and condone publicly as a whole president of the country. So,
in
my conclusion, what Andrew Mwenda, whoever wrote in the Independent, was saying is wrong. If we dealt away with corruption, I don't think that our economy, that we shall fail to develop because we are dealing away with corruption. We can grow with our challenges, but try as much as hard to fight to curb corruption, okay? And I'm not seeing that happening because the president has already stamped and sealed.
But we have the law. Thank you very much, Gedion.
That's very funny of you, that we have the law.
Let's conclude. Thank you very much, Gedion Kwikiriza, for great submissions. Thank you very much, dear viewer. We are so glad that you've been with us, and you continue to be with us. Inform your friends, inform your family members. Subscribe to Nova Talk Television on our YouTube channel and all other media platforms. You can go on Facebook, you can go on Instagram and our Twitter handle. I remain God Kanyesi the Patriot, and this is the Vanguard Show.